that's not acceptable to me. And I said that to Timo. He's a senior international. He's a German international. In the moment we're in right now, it's not like we've got many kind of options. That I need everyone sort of, to at least be going out there, trying to give the best of themselves. And his performance in the first half wasn't acceptable.
How did he take it, and what do you kind of put this down to?
Well, I don't really know, and it's not really of great concern. Like I said, we just need everybody, including him, to be contributing, because we don't have the depth to sort of leave people out if they perform poorly. We need them to play their part. And like I said, especially the senior guys, when I'm asking younger guys to do massive jobs, I expect the level of performance from some of the senior guys, and today wasn't that.
OK, let's get more on this now. Jamie Weir joins us. Jamie, brutal assessment, wasn't it, from Ange Postecoglou on Timo Werner? Justified?
I'm not sure about justified. It's certainly surprising. It's out of character. I've never heard Ange Postecoglou publicly criticise a player like that before. I've been texting a couple of my pals this morning who are big Celtic fans, and I said, do you ever remember him doing that in his time at Celtic? And they said no. It's the kind of thing that we might see from the likes of Jose Mourinho, or way back in the day, Sir Alex Ferguson might have done it to sort of get something out of his players. But it's very un-Ange Postecoglou-esque. We deal with press officers at clubs all the time, and I've spoken to Spurs press officers about Ange Postecoglou before. They say he's an absolute dream, because you never have to prepare him for a press conference. He just gets it. He always knows the right thing to say. I think under Antonio Conte, they maybe did have to prepare him for press conferences a bit more often. But they were saying, he's just, for us, he's a dream because he always says the right thing. And we've seen how statesmanlike he's been when he's handled big issues at the club before, and when he's spoken recently about Rodrigo Bentancur and what he is facing at the moment. Just this week, and we're going to come on to this in just a segment, and what he had to say about Christian Romero sort of taking a thinly veiled pop hierarchy at Tottenham as well. But to have publicly called out a player, and especially I think a player who we know struggles with self-confidence and who's been criticised for his finishing in the past, I think that's a big surprise. We heard there in that answer from Ange about how he is having to rely, because of the injury crisis at the moment, on some of these teenagers, the likes of Lucas Bergvall and Archie Gray coming into the side. That's why he expects senior players, internationals like Timo Werner, to at least put a shift in. And when a manager sort of implies that you haven't even tried, that's almost the most scathing thing you can say about a footballer.
Sometimes we don't know what goes on behind the scenes, though, either, do we? So maybe Ange Postecoglou has tried to urge Timo Werner.
He's tried the old arm around the shoulder, and
maybe if he feels that hasn't worked, then
it's surprising, because you always get the impression from Timo Werner, don't you, that he's a good, honest pro. You can criticise him as a footballer if you want, but you expect to always at least get some effort from him. Why it's surprising, though, guys, is because 24 hours before what he said last night, he had this to say. He was talking about Christian Romero, but just listen to the very end of this answer, because I think it's very interesting.
He realises what he said. A lot of what he said was good. Some of what he said wasn't right and shouldn't be done in the public. I also believe that these things, we deal with them, within our own sort of four walls, because there's always issues and that we need to deal with. And the same way I wouldn't publicly criticise a player or anyone else, I don't think we should be doing that in the public sense.
I wouldn't publicly criticise a player. Seemed to have gone out the window 24 hours later. So that's why it is a surprise. He'll obviously be speaking to the media today, Ange Postecoglou as well. I would expect there might be some form of apology from Ange Postecoglou, knowing the way he is. Look, clearly it's tough for Spurs at the moment. They've been going through a little bit of a wobble. I mean, we need to sort of remember it was just over 2 weeks ago that they beat the champions 4-0 at the Etihad, dismantled Manchester City. So, things can change very quickly. They obviously have a bit of an injury crisis, a couple of players that are just hit little dips in form. These are their next 6 fixtures that they've got coming up as well, and perhaps Spurs fans will be relieved to see a trip to the South Coast on Sunday against a side who are also really struggling at the moment, Southampton. That quarter-final against Manchester United at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium next Thursday is huge. Liverpool, it would be very Tottenham to go and then beat Liverpool, wouldn't it? Given
beat them last season, didn't they, at home?
They did indeed, yeah. I don't think Liverpool fans will like you for reminding them of that one. That one still, I think, hurts for Liverpool fans, down to 9 men by the end of that game. Forest have been so impressive this season, and you just know that a former Spurs manager, Nuno Espirito Santo, would love to win that one. And then Wolves just after Christmas, and Newcastle, the lunchtime kickoff early in the new year. So it's a tough run of fixtures. He needs to get some players back. He needs to get some confidence and belief back into the squad as well. They play such an intense, high-energy brand of football that it is high risk as well. We saw that against Chelsea at the weekend, went 2-0 up, and almost you could see the cracks appearing as soon as Chelsea got one goal back in that game as well. Need players back, need a bit of confidence back, but never a dull moment with Tottenham. Always entertaining to watch, aren't they?